Well trained.
You noticed we didn't
I
say
didn't
that.
The one actually running the show.
I'm still working on her.
The one that really knows what's going on.
Exactly.
Thank you for that.
You ready?
Yeah. I just the truck.
We're going to call the Tipton Common Council meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on our agenda this evening are the minutes from the last meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes of the May 28th, 2024 council meeting.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rippey, seconded by Mr. Richards. All those in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Any amendments to tonight's agenda? Hearing none, and this is the first meeting of the month. We'll start with Board of Works and Safety.
We met today. The good news of the day. We had an executive session, interviewed Officer Zach Huff, who's currently a sheriff's deputy at Tipton County Sheriff's Department. We approved a conditional offer to Zach Huff along with his canine, which will put us back at 15 full-time officers, including the two chiefs, and two canines, which we used to have. So we, for the first time in quite a while, the police department is hopefully going to be fully staffed by the end of summer. So kudos to Chief Stout and Keegan for making that happen. It's been an uphill battle, but we got there. It did expend all of our lateral transfer bonuses, so the council's aware. We have no more bonuses available this year for lateral transfers. We approved a street closure for the Pork Festival. It's the same street closure and similar layout to last year. I'll let Park and Cemetery give their updates. And then the big thing is there's a lot of communities going to be aware of, especially there's a lot of paving going on, whether it's NDOT or City of Tipton locally. Lots going on, which is good news. We need to redo these roads. So that was about the gist of the meeting.
And then to the point of the fully staffed police department, if we're successful in that, that's actually the first time in the last 6 years that we've had a full staff at the police department. So certainly, yeah, good accomplishment for the police
I
department.
found out too, our chief has either hired or field trained every single person on that staff. So he's been on 21 years, almost 22. And we're in a really good spot also demographically. Got a lot of some senior guys, middle road, and young guys. So we really are shaping up to have a really solid public safety on both sides.
Yep. Next, cemetery board.
We've had 5 burials, 3 cremations, 1 lot sold at $700. We just had a meeting, this last meeting, working on the second phase of the cemetery. It's going to be 1,605 burial spots.
Wow.
Wyatt Johnson is reworking the map because for some reason or another, all the grave sites were set up from north to south, and they should be east to west. And, you know, there's reasons for that.
Okay.
And one of them, the digger said that there's no way that he could get from one end to the other without running over things or without changing it. So
Yep.
as soon as he gets that in play, then it should be on the move.
Perfect. Park advisory board.
You have your report in your packet. Obviously, the intersection there at the park is NDOT is making a lot of improvements on, but they have will continue to leave the park open, the main entrance, but the exit at Park Road will be closed. Everyone will have to exit the park at the other exit, but those two will be remain open as they do their work. Basketball courts have been redone. They look great.
They do.
She does have an extra camera that she's going to mount there at the basketball courts on top of the restrooms because unfortunately we've already had some unwanted things shared at the basketball court, which is unfortunate. Other than that, the park's looking good. That pretty much is it.
Thanks, sir. Last is utility board.
Utility board report, you've got in your packet, but I do want to note a couple of things. They have two positions, one with the water department, one with collections, that are still not filled. Good jobs for a young guy wanting to start out. We've got what I think is a little over 6,000 feet put in the ground on the force main coming from 28 and 31. And the water tower foundation work should start hopefully in July. And that was pretty much it.
Very good. Moving on to the agenda, the first item is approval of the CF1's tax abatements under new business. As you all likely know, this is a statutory requirement for the tax abatements that were approved in previous years. Every year there's an assessment and evaluation that's presented to the board to consider for approval. So we've actually had quite a few tax abatements fall off over the past several years. And so this year, for your consideration of approval, there's three. One from Package Rate dating back. Its original approval was back in 2016. Peerless Realty was Peerless Midwest Pumps' 2019 date, and Tipton Senior Apartments 2017. The one piece of information I will add is I know there's been information regarding the maintenance of the Tipton Senior Apartments, so I have been in communication with their team actually. So in the last 10 days, I've had a conversation with 3 individuals from their upper management about those the property maintenance, the lack thereof. So we're making good progress on that front. But then after review, all do meet substantial compliance. Again, it's probably a subjective term, but the only one that might fall outside of some of their expectations is Package Rate. And frankly, some of their expectations were made prior to the pandemic. So that who knows, some of the employment figures, for example, were impacted because of the pandemic, but they have been able to reshore some jobs as a result of their investment.
Why is that listed as personal property instead of
So real property would be investments into the actual structures, and then
personal?
the personal property would be equipment that they've invested in, new manufacturing or.
I wrote that it was a couple pieces of specialized stamping equipment,
Yeah.
some of their new puzzles,
Have you ever been out to watch them do that?
several times.
It's pretty
Very cool.
Pretty cool. Oh, sorry.
Back when John was out there.
So it's presented before you today, seeking approval.
I'll move that we accept the 3 tax abatements that were presented.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve the CF1s for the 2024 fiscal year. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Nathan? Motion passes. No other items under new business or old business. Ken stole my thunder with the paving projects. That's really going to be the topic of the next probably 45 days, just because there's going to be a lot of it. The city itself has the 2023 community crossings projects that are going to be starting work probably within the next 7 to 10 days. And then NDOT, as we all know, is starting their project at Park Road. So that'll likely create some interruption. We're not aware of any lane restrictions, but just knowing that intersection is busy, that could happen, especially as we head toward the fair. But that's all the work for both the city and NDOT is expected to be done within the next 45 days, weather permitting. And then the last thing I was going to mention is the 2024 Community Crossings Grant that we were awarded from our application in January. We expect that's going to go out to bid in the first meeting of July, and then with it, we actually put out the rebid for the Trails project. So we're expecting that both of those will be in that first meeting in July, so we can make pretty good progress on both of those efforts. We don't have any items under resolutions or ordinances, and so the next item on the agenda is claims.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve for payment, excuse me, claims 176,589 through 176,738 in the amount of $4,989,141.59.
Second.
So motion and seconded to approve claims. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Nathan abstained. We are now to the point on our agenda for petitions, comments, and memorials. Today.
Today.
So it's second and fourth.
We'll make sure that we do that. Mr. Bowman?
Evening. Just wanted to say, first of all, I noticed a lot more police patrols, catching especially the west side of town and all that, so much appreciated. I didn't know if there's been any movement on 200 South Cemetery Road, adjusting that speed limit. Again, it's 40 on Old 28, but it's 45 there. But I have noticed an officer sitting in the disc golf.
I was gonna say, I've seen them there twice.
Yeah.
I was gonna share it.
So there definitely been a step up in patrols,
Yeah.
and you know, there's obviously, you know, that's credit to the police department, but
Mhm.
I think there's still a disconnect there.
Yep.
With the speed.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
And, Rich shared, and I didn't know that Charlie Max has passed away today. Or
Yesterday.
Yesterday. So
Yesterday.
condolences. Charlie, of course, has served on a lot of boards, but most recently on the cemetery board. So condolences to his family.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There's no other items except the motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I am.
Nate.
Thank you all. Thanks. We'll,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and,